Welcome to the Teapot Reads. My name's Sam. I'm the Teapot. This is what I'm currently reading, and I am so happy to see you today. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. It is so amazing to see you guys today. I feel like I have been focusing so much on vlogging that I haven't actually sat down and filmed a proper video in a while. So to kind of jumpstart that, we're doing a book haul, and these, I think it's something like 20 something books that I have picked up over the last 2 months that I've picked up more than this, but that I'm really excited about and excited to talk about. So this is not every book I bought. I am working on buying less books, but these are the ones that I'm just super thrilled about. And a quick update, I do have my hand in a brace. I just have a wrist problem going on. I talk about it a little bit in the vlog, but I don't 100% know what's wrong with it, just that it does hurt. So that is why the brace is on. Let's just get into it. I'm so excited. Oh, okay. So first off, we have this edition of Pride and Prejudice. This was published by Tor. I did not realize Tor did classics, but they actually have a handful of classics that they've done. And they're pretty cheap. This was $4.99. I bought it, I think, on Book Depository because I couldn't get it through Barnes & Noble. But I love this edition. It is so weird and ugly and vintagey. I don't know, it's just, it's not a bad cover. It's just campy, I think. And I love it. And the tagline, if you can't see, it says, "Mom's fishing for husbands, but the girls are hunting for love." And I just absolutely love it. And the back, just the way it's written on here, I love it. I'm living for it. I think this is just such a fun edition, and I had to add it to my collection. I don't think I'm ever gonna read it out of this edition, but it's just so funny. Oh my god, I have to read you the back. It's just, what's a girl to do? Scatterbrained social climbing Mrs. Bennet makes one demand of her 5 daughters: marry well, marry rich. But sweet Jane is hopelessly in love with Mr. Bingley, who doesn't seem to notice. Flighty Lydia wants a man, any man, preferably one in uniform. Kitty just wants to have fun. Shy Mary has her nose in a book, and Elizabeth, brilliant, stubborn, independent Lizzie, refuses the advances of the most marriageable man in town, haughty, handsome, wealthy Mr. Darcy. Mrs. Bennet's in hysterics. Mr. Bennet's in his study. Lydia's eloped with a soldier, and Jane's heart may be well broken. Will any of the Bennet girls find true love and fortune? It's just, I love it. There are, like I said, other books in this series, but I don't have them listed here. It doesn't look like. I think there might be another Austen that got adapted, but they didn't do the whole set, so I probably won't get any more from this, because they're, besides Pride and Prejudice, I wasn't crazy about any of them, but I was so happy to add it to my collection because it's weird, it's fun. And I've read Pride and Prejudice 2 times, and I'm actually planning to read it a 3rd time. If you saw at the opening, I'm reading Emma, and it's put me in such a Regency mood and an Austen mood in general, so yeah. Then I think we're just gonna do because I have 2 piles here. I have fantasy and YA, and then I have classics and literature, so we're just gonna go through all the classics and literature first, I think. So I picked up The Swimming Pool Library by Ellen Hollinghurst. I saw this on Instagram. Someone was talking about it, and I was like, that sounds 100% like a book I want to read. This is one of the Penguin vintages with the red spine. It is the only Hollinghurst to be published this way, but if I like it, I'll definitely try to pick up some of his other works. It's a queer text, and it's kind of, I think, about this young guy. I think Will is his name, and he's just kind of existing and being, I guess. They call it cruising London, but I think it's very much just the act of being, maybe lost a little bit in that being, but just the act of existing and being. And he becomes friends with an older man who I believe is also gay, and he's becoming a biographer for this man, so he's kind of looking at what this older man had to deal with in terms of repression during his lifetime. And it just, the way it was described on Instagram was very much a quiet novel, which for me, I love novels of just being and existing, and not a lot has to happen. Like, sometimes a lot happens. Like, I think I would call Norwegian Wood a quiet novel because it's mostly about characters just kind of existing and floating through life. And it is just a type of novel and writing that I have come to really enjoy the older I get. And so anyway, this just sounds good. And I am always interested in reading queer texts, especially queer classics, or what is considered like queer classics. It is something that I find really important to myself personally to read more of. Another vintage penguin, we have The Master and the Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. This was heavily censored during at the time of publication by, I don't know if it was actually like written during Russia or the Soviet Union. I'm sorry, I don't know. But it was censored. It wasn't allowed to be published at the time. But it, I think, made waves in like Western literature. It is, I think, magical realism-esque. I'm just going to read you the back of this one because it's not a lot on the back, but it sounds really good. Like, the devil is a character. There's this like cat is a character. I've kind of been obsessed with reading this book for a while now for no good reason. Let me read you the back. I'm going to tell you like the story of how I first heard about it. One hot spring, the devil makes a personal appearance in Moscow, accompanied by various demons, including a naked girl and a huge black cat. When he leaves, the asylums are full and the forces of law and order are in disarray. Only the master, a man devoted to truth, and Margarita, the woman he loves, can resist the devil's onslaught. It just sounds really good. And Mikhail Bulgakov has written quite a bit, and I think he kind of veers into like weird literature, probably like an early precursor of weird punk and that sort of sci-fi writing. So I am expecting this to be very strange and odd. But the first time I heard about this, I was at work. I work at Barnes & Noble, and I was at work, and I was at the register, and over the headset, someone asked if anyone was familiar with The Master and the Margarita. A customer was asking about the difference between the two editions we had. And one of my coworkers was like, I read X edition, and I was like, that sounds like an interesting title. And so when my shift was over, and when I looked at it, I was like, this is a weird-looking book. And I didn't buy it then, and I'm glad because this is the edition I prefer to have. It matches like a lot of my other classics being a vintage. But since then, I have just had it stuck in my brain like I have to read it. So yeah, I love it. Also, I love this cover with like, I think it's the moon and a flying pig. I'm here for it. It sounds so good. And I have a feeling I'm going to really love this book. Yeah, oh my God. Then we have, I read Gallant, which you can check out my review, and I loved it. I thought it was really good, but it definitely set me in this nostalgic children's literature and children's classic literature vibe. I think because it does have enough reminiscent of The Secret Garden to be like, I want that. Obviously, I don't want the like racism that has, but I want those vibes because they are immaculate. So I picked up from the Penguin, I think it's the Sisterhood collection, I picked up Heidi and the Railway Children. And can we just take a moment? I love how these look. The hair is just so cool. And the spines are also very cool. These are just very pretty books. And they're patterns that just like carry around to like the backside. I'm living for it. So Heidi, I have actually read in the past. I read it when I was pretty young. It was probably the first classic I actually tried to read on my own. And at the time I had received it as a gift, and I was like, they gave me this. Like, I was a little bit of a brat. I was like, this doesn't sound good. This isn't what I like to read. But I did end up picking it up, and I really enjoyed it. I don't remember if I finished it. I really don't know, but I do remember sitting on the living room couch and just reading it during the summer and just being taken away by it. So I've wanted to return to Heidi for a while, and now I actually own edition again. So I will be reading this, and probably soon, because I really have been thinking about it for a while. But then The Railway Children by E. Nesbit. I've never read this book. I feel like this is much more of a British children's classic than American children probably read. I didn't actually know what this was about. I was conflating this with the Boxcar Children's series, and that series scared me as a kid. I don't know why. I think it was like the covers or whatever just like freaked me out for some reason. So I was like, no, the Railway Children, that sounds terrible. But then I actually read the description. I was like, that sounds 1,000% like a book I would like to read. So I'm just going to read you the description. When father is suddenly taken away, Roberta, Peter, Phyllis, and their mother leave London and set up home in a little country village. Every morning the children wave at the 9:15 London train, hoping it will carry their love to father. Little do they know that the kindly old gentleman passenger who waves back holds the key to their father's disappearance. I love that. I love it. I just know I'm going to adore this. So I'll probably read this around the same time that I read Heidi. I don't know, I wouldn't. And there are other books in this series. So A Little Princess, Anne of Green Gables, Pride and Prejudice, and Little Women are all part of the series. And I do plan on finishing this collection because they're just amazing looking. I love them. And sadly, they're on a shelf that I don't get to look at very often because it's like positioned behind my bed. But I hope that'll change soon. I'm working on it. Speaking of new editions. So I love NYRB classics. I don't really talk about them a lot because I have a lot, but I don't read them frequent because they tend to be denser, heavier texts. And I'm working on reading more classics, but you know, I have so many books I want to read. It's hard to sometimes choose between a classic and a non-classic and all that. But McNally editions are a new set of rediscovered classics, sort of, or books that may not have been considered classics until this printing, but are certainly important in the annals of literature. And it is published by, I believe, an independent bookstore based out of New York. I'd never heard of them before, but I saw people posting about them online, so I picked up two of them. I picked up Winter Love by Han Soo-yin, and then I picked up, okay, I know it's pronounced Troy Chimneys, but I always say Troy Chimney. Troy Chimney. By Margaret Kennedy. I don't know why I say chimney, but yes. So this one was pitched as an Austen hero having a novel, and I was like, sold. I don't need to know anything else. And this one is set during World War II, I think. I believe it's World War II, or just post World War II in a London that has very much been blitzed. And it is about two women who fall in love, and also about like academia at the time and women's academia. So it gives very much dark academia, historical, lesbian. And again, I didn't really need to be convinced much. And the way these books look, they have these, the way the website describes this is hilarious. They're like an off-the-shoulder dust jacket. I was like, are I trying to make it sound sexy? It's working, but like weird. The way these look, it is a little off-the-shoulder dust jacket, and then underneath, it just looks like this. So it's very simple. And then the spine, it'll tell you what number in the series it is. So this is 1, and it also tells you down here. So this is number 1. I don't know if I'm going to complete the collection and need like every single book in the McNally series, because some of them just don't appeal to me, but some that are coming out I am really excited for, so I'll pick those out probably pretty soon. I want to be on top of it, but I don't need to like be a completionist, I don't think. And this is number 5, Troy Chimney. Troy Chimneys. Number 5. I really do not know where the chimney is coming from, but it's fun. It makes it sound funner, I think. Of the two, I will probably read Troy Chimneys sooner, because anything compared to Austen gets a pretty quick turnaround for me and always takes like precedence. I love Austen so much. She's made a couple appearances so far. I think that's it for like Austen appearances though. Then we have, I've been trying to collect the Penguin English Library books, especially the ones that are out of print and harder to get. And so I have been buying used, and I've been trying to get good copies. Now this one said it was an ex-library book, but that there would be no markings on the spine. And it is accurate to what it said. However, the book is quite dirty. There's a little bit of writing in it, nothing that I am distraught by, but I will probably end up getting another edition at some point. But anyway, Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. The Dickens ones are very hard to get at the moment, and if I never get another one, this is a fine edition to have on the shelf. It is just, it's dirty. It's not just the like plastic case. The pages are a little dirty, and I tried taking the case off but that might be a bit hard, and I want to like really clean the book, but I don't have the tools yet, so I'm just kind of leaving it in the plastic for now. Like I said, it does have some writing back here. This is from the Kensington and Chelsea Library Service. It's not terrible edition. These editions actually hold up fairly well, but if I could find a nicer edition, I definitely will. I just kind of wanted to point out because I was a little disappointed that it really didn't talk that it was going to be looking like that. Another set of classics I have started to collect are the vintage heroines, and I saw these on Instagram and I was like, oh, I have to own those. So they are classics written by women, or actually I shouldn't say that. It's classics featuring important heroines throughout literature. So we have I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith, and it has these gorgeous photography on the cover. Each of them are done, I believe, by female photographers. So I Capture the Castle, My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I love this cover. And Gigi by Colette. Other books in the series, because there's 10, let's see. It is Jane Eyre, We Need New Names, Push, which Push is the only one on this list that I'm like, I know I could never read it. I don't see a reality where I could ever get through that book. I know what it's about. I've looked up summaries. It just feels like it is going to be far too overwhelming for me to handle. Maybe someday I would love to be able to, but I can't see it right now. So I don't think I'll ever complete this set, just because I don't think I'll ever read that book. Madame Bovary and White Chrysanthemum. That one I know, because that's probably the one I'm going to pick up next. But I'm so excited for all of these. I've not read any of them. I probably won't read any of these editions. I mean, I might read Gigi. Yeah, that's what it's called. I might read Gigi in this edition, but I will probably read this in the other copy I have. And I will probably pick up something else for I Capture the Castle, because I love these and want to keep them pristine. But I was excited for I Capture the Castle and My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and I was just like, about Gigi. But then, I don't know, something snapped in me and I was like, I want to read this ASAP. I will probably be doing that. I think this might be like a springtime read. I'm not gonna lie. I have a feeling that's coming soon. Then we have, you know what, let me do the last of the classics, and then I'll do the two pieces of literature, because they're both chungars. So if you've been watching me for a bit, you might remember my Anna Karenina reading vlog series. I've got something coming in the works that's similar, a series of reading vlogs based on the same books. And that's the Anne of Green Gables reading vlog series. I'm so excited for these. I will be reading these back to back to back to back, because someone recommended that as the best way to read them, and I've wanted to read these for a while now, so this is how it's going to happen. It probably won't be until late summer, but I'm so excited. And I hope you're excited too. This is like a little tease. I'll be doing 2 books per vlog. I don't think they'll be as long as the Anna Karenina reading vlogs, but yes, and I will be annotating. These are the editions that I want to annotate. I picked this up. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope you're excited, because I'm so excited about that. Okay. And then A Winter's Tale by Mark Halpern. I don't 100% know too much about this, except that it sounded so good. I think it's magical realism. It sounds like the city of New York itself during the Belle Epoque period is the character. Like, there are other characters, but like the city itself is very much alive, and I'm stoked. It's a chunky book. I don't know when I'll be reading it because it's so chunky, but I just cannot wait. I stare at it because where I've put on my shelf, I look at it almost every day and I'm like, soon. It won't be soon, but soon. I have no idea if I'm going to love it. I just want to love it. And then this one came yesterday. My heart. Oh my God. It is The Books of Jacob by Olga Tokarczuk. I should know how to pronounce that. I'm Polish. She was the Nobel laureate for 2018, I believe. This is her most recent edition published in English. She has quite a few more books than the ones that have been published in English. And I got the Fitzcarraldo edition because I've always wanted one of these. I just think they're lovely with the blue. It's just so simple and just gorgeous. And this is another chunker. It's going to take me a while. Part of me is like, read it next, Sam, read it next. I won't. But, I was going to see how many pages. But it actually counts down from the front, which is cool. There are about 892 pages. It's a little more than that. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I'm just going to read the full title as printed there. The Books of Jacob, or a fantastic journey across 7 borders, 5 languages, and 3 major religions, not counting the minor sects. Told by the dead, supplemented by the author, drawing from a range of books and aided by the imagination, the which being the greatest natural gift of any person. That the wise might have it for a record, that my compatriots reflect, lay persons gain some understanding, and melancholy souls obtain some slight enjoyment. It was also long listed, I believe. Or maybe it was the short list. I don't know if it was the long list or the short list. But it was included on one of those. Well, both of those, I guess, technically. If it was the short list. But it was included for the International Booker Prize, I believe is what it was. Which is translated fiction. And I already had a couple of those on my shelf already. So I was like, maybe I should add this and read it. So that was the literature and classics. Now let's dive into the fantasy and the YA and a lot of the book box books. These aren't all that, but because there's a couple like others. But let's start with probably one of my highly most anticipated in these piles. Yeah, definitely. We've got the Winner's Curse trilogy, the Illumicrate editions. No, I have not read these books. Yes, I know I'm gonna love them. So let's just like look at them. We've got Winner's Curse. Oh my god, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. And then like the back. Oh, it's stunning. We have the Winner's Crime. I realize now, because I can't see the camera screen, I really hope I wasn't like cutting off part of the cover with how close I'm holding it to the camera. I really hope I didn't. I'm sorry if I am. And then we have the Winner's Kiss. And these are treasures, I think, for my shelf. I love them. I have the original American hardcovers as well, so I will probably be reading those editions when I read the books. I am happy to have those on my shelf. They're just, they're so pretty. Okay, this is not YA or fantasy or anything, but I got Brambly Hedge. Brambly Hedge took over my life for about 2 weeks. This is a children's picture book series by Jill Barklam. And it is just the most charming thing you will ever read. It is about this mice society. Let me see if I can get like a really nice spread. Here's one. And just, oh, look here. Here we go. It is cozy. It is charming. It is amazing. I actually saw this on TikTok and I immediately ordered it at work. I was like, I have to have Brambly Hedge. So I did. I bought Brambly Hedge and I'm in love with it. I loved it so very much. I plan on revisiting it or the stories in it regularly. I don't think I'll read it cover to cover again, but I think I will return to like one of the stories here or there because there are 8. All 8 of them are in here, and it is fantastic. I really recommend it, even if you don't normally read children's picture books, because I don't. It is just cozy and charming, and like, if you're looking for cottagecore vibes, you'll get them right here. They're just, it's impeccable. Okay. Then we have another young reader book. We have Spindles End by Robin McKinley. I've never read a Robin McKinley, But this is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. And I was like, I have wanted to read Robin McKinley, and one of my coworkers actually said it is one of the coolest depictions of magic she's ever seen. Like, magic is like a real thing, and like that's not what I mean to say. It's like tangible, and there's like scenes where they have to like dust the magic dust away, and I'm like, that's so cool. I love it. And like the magic like falls from the sky and like coats things. I just think that is so cool. So I'm really excited. Plus I've heard great things about Robin McKinley. May as well start here kind of situation. I kind of hate the cover though. Oh my god, another book box set. I kind of forgot these were coming until they arrived. Not like completely forgot. I just thought it was like later in the year that they would come. So I haven't read this series, and one of the reasons I've never read this series is because there weren't matching editions, and that bothers me. But Fairy Loot matching editions of the Diviner series by Libba Bray, and they are stunning. They've got these black edges, which I love, and they've got this like the patterns in the book, and they're actually, you can't tell because it's video, but they're raised slightly so you can like feel a little bit texture, and I love it. So we have the Diviners, Lair of Dreams, Before the Devil Breaks You, and King of Crows. I'm just like living for these editions. I think they're so pretty. I don't actually 100% know what these are about, but I feel like they're so frequently loved by people. Like everyone who recommends them loves them. I think it's definitely an underrated series and that not a lot of people talk about it, but I'm going to read you the flap of this one. It's 1920s New York City. It's flappers and follies, jazz and gin. It's after the war, but before the Depression. It's the opportunity to party like never before. Evie O'Neill moves from small-town Ohio to the big, gleaming, glamorous city. This is her chance to show how modern and incredibly daring she can be. But she soon discovers that New York has a darker side. Young women are being murdered across the city in gruesome, calculated ways. New York City police can't solve these murders alone, and Evie has a secret that could help them. Her mysterious power is what chased her out of Ohio, but facing the knowledge of what she can do is essential in catching the killer if he doesn't catch her first. So, yeah. I'm just really excited to read these. They've got like a paranormal aspect as well. I probably wouldn't like just read them if they didn't, but they do. I feel like this will be an autumn read, so it's probably gonna be a little bit before I get to them. I mean, something could change that. Maybe I'll be like, I have to read it now. But right now, I'm sitting very firmly in like autumn read. Fuel and Friends, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. So part of Macmillan has been doing these remix classics for YA, and I want to collect them all. So far, I just have 2 of them. And I picked up A Clash of Steel by C.B. Lee and Travelers Along the Way by Amina May Safi. I am so excited for both of these. I so rarely get excited for like classic retellings, but everything they've been remixing just sounds amazing. So there's also a Little Women remix, which I am dying to get my hands on, but all the copies we have at work are kind of mangy, so I have to order one in, and I just haven't yet. And I think, I'm not sure if there are 3 or 4 out right now. There might only be the 3, but there have been 5 announced. So there's a Great Gatsby one and a Jekyll and Hyde one also coming out soon. Maybe there's another one. I think it's just those 5 so far. So this one is a Robin Hood retelling, and I think it is during the Crusades, set in Jerusalem. And then this one is a Treasure Island retelling set in 1826 in South China, or the South China Sea, I should say. Fun fact about me. I loved the Robin Hood series on BBC and was like obsessed with Robin Hood for about 3 years of my life. And I also have a really huge soft spot for Treasure Island. A teacher read it to me when I was in like 4th or 5th grade, and I was fully intended to be like, Treasure Island, that's a boy book. But I really liked it. I thought it was like fantastic, and I wasn't like obsessed with it, but I really loved it. Plus, I love Treasure Planet, the Disney movie, and you can come after me, but that movie is fantastic. 5 stars, one of Disney's best, yes, I said it, one of Disney's best films. So Treasure Island, I actually have a really soft spot for. So yeah, like even if they didn't sound good on their own, which they do, I probably would have picked these up. That's a little surprising to me because I don't pick up classic retellings that often. I find it hard to get into them, even if I loved the original or even if I hated the original. Films, I can watch adaptations, like, keep giving them to me. But books, I've just had a bad track record with. They just feel like corny or something. But these feel like they're not going to be corny. They feel like they're just going to be fantastic. Then we have Illumicrate. This was their January book, I believe. The Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. Isn't this stunning? You've probably seen it online if you're part of the like book community. But I just had to show off my copy. And actually, this is my second copy. So my first one that arrived in the book box came quite damaged. It was scratched on the cover, and then the back page was like glued poorly to the board, so it was like ripping. Like it's not supposed to be. Like it was like the page and not the like this part, like the actual page. So I contacted them, and Illumicrate once again just has like phenomenal customer support. I haven't had that many problems with them, but I have been a subscriber for a long time, so of course problems have come up, and they're just always just fantastic. So I love Illumicrate for so many reasons, but having good customer support is so important to me. So this is technically my second copy, and it is gorgeous and like pristine and perfect. I read the Shatter Me first book back when it was coming out, and people were like super hyping it. And I know it's still a really popular series, but I thought it was hot garbage and trash. And I was like, yeah, I'll never read anything else by this author. But I have grown as a person, and I'm also assuming that Tahara Mafi has grown as an author, and I'm hoping that I will actually really enjoy this Woven Kingdom because I am really excited for it. It just sounds good. People have been giving it good reviews, and I'm really interested in a fantasy story from an author who has been around for a while and writing YA for a while, but I don't think she's ever done like a traditional fantasy type story. I know Shatter Me is more like sci-fi. Now the January book boxes, because I think this was January as well. The January book boxes were something else. I think it was January. Maybe it was February. But this year book boxes have been on their game. Oh my god. Okay. So Daughter of the Moon Goddess was Fairy Lute's pick, I think, for January. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh my god, this book. When I saw that, I screamed. This is pretty. I actually keep it faced out on my shelf with the spine or the pages out because I just have to look at it, and I love it. And Fairy Lute always have just like such gorgeous editions. So this is the first in a duet. And it says, here we go, a retelling inspired by the Mid-Autumn legend, Daughter of the Moon Goddess. So I'm not going to read you the back because I don't want to know too much about it. I just know I was super hyped for this book, and I have 3 copies of it. I have the regular hardcover UK edition and then the American hardcover edition, and I'm frothing at the mouth, guys. I have to get to it. Speaking of book box editions, I sadly missed out on the Illumicrate Atlas 6th edition. I am heartbroken. Okay, I'm heartbroken. I'm really hoping they end up doing another printing of it. If they don't, though, I do have 2 editions to satisfy me. I'm still real sad. We have the US hardcover and then the Waterstones edition with the stained edges. It's not signed because I didn't realize there were signed editions. And I was just like, ooh, special edition, that's cool. I did not even notice there were signed ones at the time. And I know some people say like they don't actually like how this looks. I think it's a very cool still. I love it. You've probably heard about Atlas 6. I haven't read it. Surprise, surprise. I just bought multiple editions because they were pretty. But I am in such a big dark academia mode and mood that I will probably read this soon. You'll see in my vlog, if you choose to watch it, that I spend a great deal of time debating whether I should pick this up or Emma. Obviously, I picked Emma. Spoiler alert. But I really do want to read Atlas 6. It is high on my TBR. Let me have, okay, technically only 2 more books left, but one of them has 3 editions of it. So we're going to put that one for last and talk about Illumicrate. I think this was their February pick, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. So when I found out this was going to be the pick, I was like, eh. And then it came and I'm like, that's pretty. That's very pretty. And then I found out what it was about and I was like, yeah, that sounds really good. So let me read it to you. Enchantments run deep on the magical island or Isle of Cadence. The capricious spirits that live there find mirth in the lives of the humans who call the land home, but that mischief turns to malevolence as girls begin to go missing. Adira, heiress of the East, knows the spirits only answer to a bard's music, enticing them to return the missing girls. But there's only one bard capable of drawing the spirits forth by song, her childhood enemy, Jack Tamerlane. He hasn't stepped foot on Cadence in 10 long years, content to study music at the mainland university. But as Jack and Adira reluctantly work together, it becomes apparent the trouble with the spirits is far more sinister than first thought, and an older, darker secret lurks beneath the surface, threatening to undo them all. This book gives me such nostalgia vibes. I was obsessed with fairies. I'm still kind of obsessed with fairies. Not necessarily the sexy kind. I do love that, but I'm more like the Spiderwick Chronicles type. Have always been my go-to. And when I was in like middle school and early high school, I sought out every fairy book I could read, and I found some real great hidden gems that just aren't published anymore, and strongly recommend. I'll have to try to find some of the titles, but there was one set at like a Renaissance fair. I think it was like 6 books, and then there's this really heavily Irish one that I might have somewhere still, and I was like, oh, it was so good, just fantastic. And anyway, this just gives me those vibes of those books. So this peak of the summer, I'll be reading this outside. I'm gonna go visit the river just to read this. I think I'm so excited. It's the first of a duet, and I think the second one comes out later this year. And I think Illumicrate said they're going to be doing a matching edition. So yes, that's cool with me. I'm so excited. Okay, and the final one. This was Fairy Loot's February pick, I think. Maybe it was their March. I could be like getting it wrong. I think January was maybe Only a Monster, and then February was Daughter of the Moon Goddess. Okay, yeah. And so this was their March pick. So first I'll show you the American hardcover. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I love this cover. I'm stoked. This will be the edition I read. Then we have the UK hardcover. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. These are by Axio, obviously. And then we have the Fairy Loot edition, which is gorgeous. I love the color palette change, but more than anything, the end pages. Oh my God, are just I screamed. Oh my God, they're so pretty. Yes. It looks so frickin' Ghibli. I have so many books now on my shelf that are like Ghibli-esque that like people have been like, yeah, this reminds me of a Ghibli movie. And I'm like, I need to just start actually reading those. And this one's like probably top of the list. But yes, that is my book haul. It's pretty large. But those are the ones I'm just the most excited to read right now. And I cannot wait. Or excited, not necessarily to read right now, but to have on my shelf. I'm so excited. And the next couple months just have so many like wonderful books coming out. Like I have so many I'm looking forward to. Let's see what's coming out soon. I have the list here. I keep a running list. Magic Steeped in Poison. It actually came out already. And there is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition because it is our book club pick. And I didn't know that until obviously it was announced. But I was like, I can't wait to pick my copy up. I'm not at work to pick it up on the day it comes out. Sophie and the Bone Song. I'm stoked. I'm so excited for that one. Spear also looks really good. Wild and Wicked Things I think just came out. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Portrait of a Thief, I'm super excited for. Bravely by Maggie Stiefvater. Like, give it to me now. I'll have to rewatch Brave, but I can't wait. I didn't love that movie, but I cannot wait. When Women with Dragons also looks fantastic. Twin Crowns. I'm very excited for. Very excited for that one. I think that's it. That's coming out like in the next couple months though. You'll definitely see another book haul probably in like 2 or 3 months. Maybe sooner if I feel like I want to, but this one just kind of was kind of impromptu because I'm like, I've read so many I've picked up so many good books lately. I should do a book haul and share them with you because I love sharing this kind of stuff with you and I know you guys appreciate it. So if you liked this video and you want to see more content like this, definitely consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it if you did. And even if you don't subscribe, thank you for watching this video. It means a lot. And for people who are already subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me to have you here, to have you watching and listening and interacting, and just thank you. If you are somewhere cold, I hope you're staying warm. If you're somewhere warm, I hope you're staying comfortable, and most of all, I hope you're reading a great book. I will see you guys next time. Bye!